Hi everyone, welcome along. I've had a couple of requests through to do with boiler noises. Yeah, that old chestnut's back with us again. People are getting a variety of different boiler noises and getting a bit worried that they might blow up. Don't worry, they've got a lot of safety devices in here that will stop your boiler from blowing up. It won't do that, but it will just shut down if things get too bad. So what's the cause of it? What can we do about it? And let's get rid of this headache, and I can show you what the problems are, why they're caused, and what we can do about it. Let's have an example of a noise. Here's a real hummer I've got on my computer here. Have a listen to this one. You might be similar to maybe one of yours. Have a listen. That's a lovely hummer, that one, isn't it? A real beauty. Okay, let's divide these noises up. First noise. The old swooshing noise, that's the one which kind of like water rushing through a swooshy type noise. Now this is usually confined to those with combi boilers, and quite often that can be caused because the pressure's dropped very low on the pressure gauge. Okay, so it's a very simple one to fix this one. You just need to open up the filling loop and put the pressure back to 1.5 bar, and that one usually sorts that one straight away. So that's an easy one. Next up we have the old whirring, spinning noise. This one is usually caused by the fan in the boiler packing up, and it can make quite a funny kind of strange noise, especially when it starts up and ends down. I've known people get away with some WD-40 on it, but it doesn't usually last for long. Normally I'm afraid the fan will need replacing to cure that one. Next up we have the old banging noises, really loud bangs, and you wonder what's happening there. This one is often caused by a broken pump, and when you do get that, you'll find the heating kind of switches itself straight off. The boiler just gets really hot, bangs around for a few seconds, and then clicks itself down. Quite often I've found this to be, as I say, a broken pump, and it's worth checking on that one. Well, this leads us on to the most popular noise of all, and it's the old kettling noise. It sounds a bit like a kettle gurgling away. You can also get some little slight banging noises, but not like the very first one I'm describing to you. This is kind of little like rattling noises in the boiler. It's quite a concern. You think, is the boiler okay? Is there something going to go wrong? Now, this is the most popular noise of all with central heating boilers. Whether you've got a combi or whether you've got a conventional boiler, the same noise happens to both. So what can we do about that one? Okay, right. Now, this noise is generally caused by a scale. It can be lime scale deposits in the boiler. It could also be the black hard sludge crud that builds up in boilers. Now, this happens a lot because over time the amount of inhibitor you've got in your boiler gradually weakens. Even with a boiler that is a conventional one, the little header tank in the loft will have to keep replacing water as it boils away, so gradually weakening the effect of your inhibitor. And the same with a combination boiler. As you use the boiler, you will find every couple of months, even without a leak, that you need to top it up just to keep apace with what's being kind of boiled away, as it were, in use. So obviously over time the inhibitor becomes weaker and weaker and less effective. So there are a couple of things to do. Now, one of the main things you can do about this, and the big way around this problem, is, if you fancy it, this is the hard way, but a more probably satisfactory way, which is to drain the entire system out, whether you have a combi or a conventional system, and empty the whole lot, put in some system cleaner, put it in for a lot of time on the bottle because they're all different, and then fill the system and run it for the amount of time stated. Then empty it right out, flush it out as well, let some water run through and flush it thoroughly out of the system, and then add your inhibitor fresh, and you should find that the boiler noise will disappear. Okay, now that is usually the best way of it, but obviously I know a lot of you try these things and you're worried about airlocks, and this is the problem when you do this. Depending on your system, you not normally with a combi, but with a conventional system, you can get air in the system, and it can be the devil's own job to get out. In actual fact, can make a worse banging noise than the one you had before. so It's not for the faint-hearted, especially those of you that have got a conventional system, F&E system, where you have a conventional boiler. So there is another little thing that we can do, and I'll show you the stuff here. Well, here it is, the real easy way to clear up those noises. I've had a lot of success with this Fernox. It's especially for boiler noise, and it does do the job. And the good thing with this is you only need to drain a little bit out of your system and add this in. For those of you with a combi system, you can easily add it through a radiator. I've got a little link there for a little tool that does the job. It's called an Easy Fill. I'll give you a link for that if you want one of those and make the job a bit easier. But basically you just need to drain a little bit out and put this in. For those of you with an F&E system, again, you only need to drain a little bit out of the drain cock, and when you've got a low enough bit of water out there, not too much that you get air locks, of course, just a little bit, a couple of bucketfuls, empty that little tank down, and then you can pour this straight in your little F&E tank at the top and refill the rest up, and that's all you need to do. Say combi people, you just need to drain a little bit out as well. You can drain it out of a radiator valve on one side if you like, until the rad's empty, then fill it in through your Easy Fill tube on the other side. Put this straight in, tighten it back up again, and bob your uncle really. And this generally I've had lots of success with. This is the one for me, but if you want to do a thorough job, as I say, do what I've told you before, drain it all out and do it the long-winded way. Okay, so that's it, just a quick one to do with boiler noises. As I say, it's January and we've had a lot of people with this problem because of the weather. It's been bad, and we've been using the boilers constantly, haven't we? This Christmas has been a bit of a cold one, and even now it's not been much better. We're getting into January good and proper, and the boilers are getting a lot of wear. So there's one not to be worried about. As I say, if you're getting noises, don't worry, there's lots of safety devices on your boiler. I haven't known one yet to ever blow up, okay? So don't worry unduly. But there could be an easy answer for you. I've nothing, by the way, to do with Fernox or any of those products. I'm just showing you what there is out there that you can use. Alright, so just to make that quite clear, I'm not doing this as a sponsorship deal for anybody, okay? Nothing, this is just my personal, over the years, advice as a plumber of 50 years that I can pass on to you. Okay, that said, thanks very much for watching. Usual place for all my stuff, Derrickton33. Bye bye. And there goes the phone.